Got Your Back Pod Stream is powered by Play Alberta. Did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $250,000 on Cleopatra 2? From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions, there's never been a better time to sign up. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
How about that penalty kill in overtime? Wow, was that clutch. Connor Ingram, solid performance, and Evan Bouchard caps off an up and down night for the Oilers. Had a tough time holding on to a lead, but hey, Vegas wanted it too. That was a good hockey game. Looking forward to breaking it down here on Got Your Back, live post-game edition. So glad that you were along for the ride. It's brought to us, as always, by our title sponsor, Timberhouse Developments. If you're thinking of a garden suite, infill development, or a fully custom home, talk to Timberhouse. With a full team of in-house designers and decades of construction experience, they can bring your ideas to life. Stunning estate homes, everything you can think of. Timberhouse.ca. Absolute high-class builders, fantastic product with the biophilic design that we all need in our lives. Very biophilic feel to the studio tonight here, the Timberhouse studio, where they bring your ideas to life. See what you can dream up together. We got Struddy and we got Zoobs. Struds, did you have someone that you would have considered a hero growing up? And did you ever have the chance to meet said person?
Bo Jackson, and no. You?
I would say when I was a kid, I was a pretty high-end Oiler fan back when I was a little kid, and I've had the opportunity to interview some of the greats over the years, so I would say there's some of that for me. Zuby, you had a chance to meet via video and be part of interviewing one of your heroes, and that's going to drop on Monday on our Got Your Back alumni pods.
Yeah, the gentleman, it might be a little bit washed out, but up here behind me, there's my Andy Moog, autographed Andy Moog, 8x10 of him in his 4 different classic uniforms that he all played in. And yeah, it was super cool. I requested him to be a guest on the alumni pod. And the fellas worked quickly to make it happen. And I actually get to do, if you all hopefully tune in and watch the episode, when we drop it on Monday, I was charged with handling the rapid fire. And anyone who knows me knows I'm not a very rapid fire type question asker. So it's not super. Yes, it's not super rapid fire. But I got to ask him a bunch of stuff I'd always wanted to ask him. So it was awesome. I got to ask about, so here's the big spoiler. Andy Moog was on the People's Court once as not as a plaintiff or a defendant, as a guest surprise witness. And by total fluke, I never watched that show. This is in the Wapner era, but I did see it. So I had to ask him about it. So we get into that.
Nice. That
such a nice man. Andy Moog
you know,
one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Well, I mean, I don't want to pretend like we send each other Christmas cards, but he, the first time I met him, like, hey, Jason Struddy, he's like, yeah, I know he's Struddy, and just whenever I see him, he goes, he says hello. That whole group of Oilers are unbelievable humans, and they just feel like you're like, man, I've known you for years. Like, well, not really, Moger, but I love him. He's such a nice man.
This in from Bob Stauffer's Twitter. Norris Trophy candidate Evan Bouchard, 112+2, scores the game-winning goal in OT. 20th goal of the season as the Oilers win a playoff-style game 4-3 in Vegas. So Bob's still pushing the old Norris Trophy candidacy for Evan Bouchard. 20 goals. Hey, that's a heck of a season. He's in rarefied air. Surrey, Coffee Huddy, and Evan Bouchard with 20-goal seasons from the Oiler blue line. All part of a big game that we're going to break down tonight. Let's get to... Oh, by the way, that alumni pod is going to drop on Monday across all of our platforms, so make sure you check that out. Our breakdown is brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Skip the couch. Hit the Canadian Brew House, your home for every puck drop, every goal, every cheer, with ice-cold drinks, massive screens, and the best fans in town this hockey season. Their house, it is your arena. What a great place to watch in overtime. What a great place to celebrate with your fellow fans. It is the Canadian Brew House, where I'm sure it lit up when Evan Bouchard sniped their Struds. I have to say, I was surprised that he had the time to get that shot off. I thought that those D-men had time to get a stick there, but Bouchard's timing was perfect, man.
Yeah, what a game. I got to get that. That was an unbelievable game. That may be my favorite game the Oilers have played all year. And I thought the game against Utah was good, but this had everything: physicality, intensity. We had, 7 goals total, overtime. There's some nastiness, some good goaltending, some bad goaltending. Like the whole thing, I loved it. That was an unreal game. But you're right. Your question, I thought there would have been time to get your stick on puck. I don't know if they were trying to get in the shooting lane, but just get your stick on the puck. You know what he's going to do with it. There's no doubt what he's going to do with it from there in that moment. And even to double down, I'm not sure Aiden Hill was in position because it seemed like there was a bit of room there on that side where he'd been beat earlier by Matty Savoy, I believe the first goal. Kind of the same spot on the shot and where he took it from.
Kind of working our way backwards here, but, just a beautiful shot from Evan Bouchard. Doesn't always have to be the big slap shot, but he walks in, picks his spot, and just fires an absolute dagger. But that win from Connor McDavid in the face-off circle, Struds, that was a resounding face-off circle win.
Oh, did you see his reaction? I don't think I've seen him smile like that since, I don't know when. I'm not sure when he smiled. Maybe when he arrived in Italy for the Olympics. You were there. He was genuinely
he was pretty focused. He was pretty dialed in then too.
Well, fair point. But you know what? Just seeing him happy. And I think his teammates, hey, man, he looks happy. Like it matters. And people say, he can be dialed in. Yeah, you can. But you got to celebrate these small, I guess I wouldn't call this a small victory, but in the grand scheme of things, it is. But it's a victory that they needed. They got it. They pull 1 point further away from Vegas. And I think it's important. And I loved his reaction. He was truly happy. And I think as a teammate, I'd love seeing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Some joy there for sure. We're kind of working our way backwards here, but I think that's fine. So that kill in overtime, Struds, like a 4-on-3 kill, you've been in those situations. How much different is it trying to kill a 4-on-3?
It's way better than killing a 5-on-3. I'll tell you that. It's actually not that bad because, there's only one extra guy out there. 5-on-3, it feels like you've got to stay really tight. Don't get too spread out because they're going to find some holes to slide it through. 4-on-3, okay, they got one more than us. So it sounds terrible, but I would take a 4-on-3 over a 5-on-4 any day. I might even take a 4-on-3. Sorry. Yeah, I think because there's less options out there, right? And there's more space. I kind of like, so I think I'd rather kill a 4-on-3 than a 5-on-4. It'd be interesting what the percentage of kill. Yeah, I definitely take it over 5-on-3, but I think that any rational guy would. But there's just less options, and there's not so many sticks to worry about who's going to shoot the puck. There's just 4 of them instead of 5. So I thought they did a great job. And that's a long 2 minutes, man. That's a long 2 minutes. And at the end of that, to have Darnell Nurse jump up like he did, that guy's a crazy genetic freak to jump up with that kind of energy in there. But if you go back and watch it, they didn't really have to move much, right? Vegas they didn't ice it down, I don't think, once, Schauger, that I remember on that penalty kill. So there wasn't a lot of skating, and you kind of just stay in your spot, keep your sticks in your lanes. And there's some anxious moments, but Connor Ingram was kind of the man on the spot. So like the whole sequence there from those penalty killers, and that, a penalty kill that's been under pressure all year, huge PK.
That PK, a big part of that was Connor Ingram.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's just discuss Ingram's overall performance tonight, Struds. I'm glad they started him. I believe they should have started him. I like the fact that they did because this was a big game. It was an important game. And, he had lost his last couple of starts, and I think they need this guy to keep feeling it. So they put him in there. And I just think he's steady, man. He's steady. Like, I saw some tweets and some people comparing his numbers overall to Skinner's numbers. People saying, well, Skinner got run out of town for the same numbers that Ingram has. I'm just telling you it's different. something about it is different, man. Like, he's more reliable early in games. He's less likely to give up the really, really bad one. Yeah, he's given up his fair share, but Struds, a night like tonight illustrates he's just dependable, and it just feels like all night tonight he was really dependable.
I was campaigning for Tristan Jarry to play, and I was, I don't know if I was wrong. I don't know what Jarry would have done, but Ingram had a really good start. This is a really good start for him. And Knobloch felt that, and he made that decision, and great job. And what I like, and I know this isn't really your question, but that's now 2 good starts by both their goalies on the road against good teams, 2 playoff teams, right? So I think that I recognize they're both below the Oilers in the standings, although Utah's actually ahead of them. But that was, now you've got 2 guys feeling good about themselves. They both won. They both went on the road, and they're bringing 4 points home, heading home to play Anaheim. But Ingram, the save of the night was right at the end of the game there. Marner, what a pass. I didn't even see that guy open there. And he zings it around to the far, from the top, I guess, left, where the top left D-man would be. And I think he went down to, was that Noah Hanifin, I think, if I remember. Yep. And Noah has a good shot and gets his blocker on it. Now, Noah's a pretty good player. That's not exactly, Jack Eichel getting the puck, but still, great save. And he was in the right place to make the save. So, and he made others. And the penalty kill, I thought he was very steady as well. So, man, they should be feeling good about themselves, both goalies and the team, after this road trip.
What'd you see, Zoobs?
I was just going to say, obviously you love the result and I love the way he battled, but I do think it wasn't his best technical game. A lot more rebounds tonight, right? And we're used to him really swallowing those up. And if you remember, I thought there was a really obvious example of it too, with 1 minute left in the third. Eichel came down the right side, shot one at him right in his chest, and it came back out. And when do you ever see him? He swallows those up every time. Mm-hmm. So I still think I'm saying this is a small critique of his game, but I actually think it's a positive because he still fought through. We know what we expect from this goaltender on those type of shots, and he didn't quite have that bit of his game tonight, and he still played pretty well and got a win.
I mean, a couple of the goals were rebound goals, but my goodness, he made spectacular saves on 2 of the goals, Struds. One of them, he made 2 fantastic saves, then ended up burying it behind him. Another one, fantastic save, gets buried behind him. I just thought he was solid tonight. That is a game to me that would instill confidence in the group in front of him. I don't know that we would say the same about Jarry's night the other night. Now, in fairness, he hadn't started in a little while. But to me, making the saves that he's supposed to make, making a couple that maybe he's not supposed to make, and it was just a really solid performance from him tonight. He definitely a big part of that win. Struds, Darnell Nurse was kind of a beast tonight, hey? Was that beast mode for Darnell Nurse? I mean, was he right near the top of the list of the best Oilers tonight?
There was a few. I think that he was, I think it was it on Struddy's World or this podcast where we talked about just the 2 of them, he and Murphy coming together. And Murphy's not really a fighter, but he's taken a couple fights here recently because he's kind of, either A, standing in there for a teammate, or kind of standing in there for himself after he took and gave a hit with Smith off of Vegas. And then Darnell, when he's talking and chirping and being physical, and I love that scrum at the end of the first period. I love that scrum. And he was taking no prisoners. He was tossing guys around, threw someone on the net. I think Howden on the net. I love that. He thinks he's the baddest guy on the planet when he's in this mode. And that's a good thing because I think it makes everyone taller on his team and gives them swagger as well. I can compare it to when I played to Sheldon Surrey. He was really, really tough and a good player as well. And when he was out there and had that swagger, it made everyone else feel just a little bit taller, a little bit tougher. And I think Darnell can bring the same, or not can. He does bring the same when he's like that. So this Murphy-Nurse combination, there's something there.
Yeah, and I do have to say, Connor Murphy is playing a role that when they made this trade, I think they made the trade intending for him to play this role. And I thought that it was asking him to do too much based on what he had been doing in Chicago. So when you look at the minutes played in Chicago, nowhere near the type of minutes that he's sitting here playing. Connor Murphy played 19:35 at even strength tonight. Played 23-25 overall. Tons of penalty killing time. Blocked 3 shots. I know he was -1, but Struds, I mean, he is solidifying Darnell Nurse and giving the Oilers a very legitimate second pairing here.
When they brought in Matthias Ekholm, it was, well, I'm not sure if this is the right guy. Is he too old? He's too slow. But he was the perfect guy for that place beside Evan Bouchard. And I think that, with Nurse, he and Murphy seem to have had that same type of coupling that we saw with Ekholm and coming in. And again, Connor Murphy, I didn't know he competed quite this hard. I knew he was somewhat physical and block shots, but he really stands in there and competes hard. And competing isn't just fighting. I know that's what we're looking at, but it's being on pucks and being heavy, getting in guys' way. Like he's really kind of gums up the whole works in his own zone. So this is a really nice complementary piece for Nurse. And just like when Ekholm joined Bouchard and kind of boosted both of them, I think we're seeing something here with this as well. Not that Nurse needs a boost, but I think it's given him and his partner an identity. This is who we are, and we're not very fun. And then that funnels down to the third pairing, because I thought Wallman had a good game tonight. I know what you thought. I thought he was skating well. Still like to move it a hair touch faster. He's holding on a little bit like that buddy at the men's night that hangs on to it too long. But he was moving his feet. He seems to be skating, getting his feet under him a little bit better, just kind of game in, game out. Liked his game tonight. So all 3 pairings, to me, seem to be rounding into form at the expense of Spencer Stastny.
I agree with you on Wallman with one caveat. Like, you tell me, how do you feel about this thing that he is constantly doing where he cuts sharply out in front of his own net and tries to skate the puck, sometimes through traffic? I love the confidence. Maybe that's Paul Coffey saying, "Hey man, you got great feet. Use them." What do you think of that? Because it's becoming very common. Cuts right in front of his net, 2 or 3 hard. There was the one tonight where he lost it at the blue line, and it was 30 seconds of anarchy in his own end that followed.
Yeah. So I was watching for that tonight, and so what that play you're specifically talking about, it wasn't cutting in front of the net that was a problem. It was not moving the puck fast enough when he got out from that area, and I think that's what I'm thinking. Like there's plays, just pass it a hair sooner. Like he just holds on to it too long. And I didn't notice in his game last year. We're seeing it, I think, the last 2-3 weeks. It's been really noticeable. So jumping in front of your net, because that's kind of where guys are trying to angle you. Jump in front, you're trying to get to the other side. A little risky for my taste buds, but it's not a problem till it is a problem. They haven't been scored on it yet, but if they get touched up on it, that's a tough one to deal with.
Yeah. Just finishing up the thought process on Connor Murphy. At the time, so last year he was 17:02 average ice time. Then this year, for the first start of the year, he was 16:34. Am I reading that right? 24, 25, 25, 26. No, 20:37. Anyways, at the time of the trade, he was 16:34 a night in Chicago. Now he's up 19:52. He's playing 3 minutes and 20 seconds more per night on a second pairing here in Edmonton compared to the responsibility that he was given in Chicago. Question I'm just going to throw out there to the stream, because there were a lot, and Zuby, you can keep an eye out for this. There were a lot of good performances tonight, Struds. That sort of tweaked something when you said that. I'll ask the live audience here, who maybe besides the obvious did you really like tonight? Who do you thought contributed something? And Zuby, you can and tell us why. And Zuby, so keep an eye on those. You can fire those in as they are coming along. And maybe part of that will be Relentless Player tonight. Let's get to the Relentless Player, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in helping 16 to 24-year-olds step out of harm's way and into meaningful work. Make that change today right here at home. Visit ucan.ca. It's a great way to help people in need in your community, help get them on their feet, back into the workforce, and doing well. Who are you going to go with tonight, Struds?
I'm going with the PK, specifically the 3 guys in overtime. We just talked about a lot: Nurse, Murphy, and Nuge. These 3 guys are out there for the full 2 minutes, and they were just detailed in their approach. In the way, sticks in the lane, getting pieces of pucks. You don't have to block it. You don't have to stop it every time, but just getting your stick, just nick it a little bit so the puck's now a bit of a grenade. And, a couple times we saw it kind of go off a shin pad or whatever, almost out to the blue line. Then finally, the one they did get a 2-on-1 out of it. But that was a critical play in huge, because psychologically, the difference between being like 2 points up or even is quite a bit. And it makes this road trip feel like a real success heading home. They have momentum heading home to take on the Ducks, a team they're chasing down. Unfortunately, the Ducks won tonight, which isn't ideal. But I think that was a big psychological win. But those three, specifically in the PK, nailed it.
Yeah, and that extra point is big, Struds, because getting on that plane tonight, having given away 3 1-goal leads, not ideal. And there were some mistakes, and we'll break some of those down here in a few minutes. But the Oilers had trouble holding on to leads tonight. Vegas kept pushing back. And so to go into overtime feeling a little bummed about that, to get a huge kill, and then to grab that game, that's big. And the penalty kill played a massive, massive part of that. Few contributions here. Picket Fence, I like this one, says Chris Knobloch for rolling them. Rolling those lines, Struddy. Basically re-rack the same lines from last game, and why wouldn't you? And just rolled them on out there. Kept everybody reasonably engaged through a big chunk of that game. Even Yarventi ended up with 6 minutes and 40 seconds, which in a close game, for a guy of his experience level, you'll take that.
Oh, yeah, that might have been 1 or 2 minutes, a couple, not too long ago. They made the point in the broadcast. I think it was Bob and Louis did as well. But some offensive zone starts for the fourth line. And Brownie said it before. He's like, it's not always the minutes played. It's just opportunity. Because if you have to start in your own zone all the time, it works so hard to get up the ice. Then you get up there and you're like, God, I'm halfway through my shift. Give those guys the opportunity to start up there, right? And I like it. I think it gets more people involved in different opportunities for the group. So that's not an accident. You don't just tell you know what, just throw you guys out there. He's consciously making that decision. And I'm here for it. I liked it.
Yeah. So we're going to throw you a bit of a curveball here, buddy. We're going to go to core adjustments because I want to talk about a specific player and some adjustment that he has made in his game. It's brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you need a safety program, they will build it. If you need it managed, they can also do that. If you own a company and you're stuck dealing with those online safety registries that your clients want you to sign up for, they can handle those as well. And yes, they will do core audits. Right now, if you sign up for health and safety program management services and receive your first month free, visit www.hsecor.com for more information. So, subtle little core adjustment here from number 22, Struds. It was not that long ago that we were saying, as he was getting a look on the top line with Connor McDavid, if you're going to play with that guy, you have to be ready to shoot from the high danger spots. He looked a few of them off that one game, and I think he got bounced off that line shortly after that. But he's got so much confidence with it right now, Struds. He's handling it so well. He's making plays. But I think that goal tonight will do absolute wonders for that kid.
Led the team in shots with 4. And you can see the reaction from Connor. So if you didn't see the game, what happened was Savoy was in front of the net. Connor got the puck at top of the circles, and Connor skated down to the right of the goaltender. And he went down, Savoy went up. And that is a nightmare coverage for a D-man. You're trying to figure out, who do I stay with? And ultimately, Savoy finds himself open. McDavid is going to find you. You just have to get open. Don't worry about him. You do your own thing. McDavid gets in. He just grabbed it. No stick handling, no second thoughts. Ripped it. I guess low blocker. Loved it. I loved the play, the read of what Connor was doing. And then I loved the shot. So there's 2 pieces to that. And he did both extremely well.
Yeah. I just think from a confidence standpoint, he's built his confidence transporting the puck, right? Carrying it. You saw him in overtime tonight. I mean, that's a different situation for him to be in, out there with 97 in overtime and goes blazing up the ice with it. So he's got lots of confidence there. He's got confidence making plays in the offensive zone. I think shooting confidence for this player, that's a really, really good sign. And it's an adjustment that he's made because he was passing up some shots before, and he's a smart guy, Struds. I know you know him well. I think he's one of those guys that we're going to see him making these little adjustments and improvements.
He's a thinking player, right? Obviously, he can can skate, and he's fast, all that stuff. but he's a thinker out there. And the more I'm around players and coach kids and watch hockey and play, like, it's the thinkers, right? They're the ones that are kind of dangerous, and they're kind of recomputing all along. So he's definitely got that, and he had that when Brownie and I were with him when he was younger.
So talking about core adjustments here still, the last 2 games, the way this team has played, Struds, it's a pretty marked difference in, you know, the way they're rolling lines first and foremost, but also low event hockey, low shot total hockey, at least for the first portion of this game when it was tight. It's a couple of games in a row like that. Connor McDavid dialing back the risk, I would say, in some of his offensive attack, right? Couple of games in a row, we're seeing him make some decisions that show he's maybe thinking that a little bit too. It would seem to me that, I don't know, Chris Knobloch, I don't know if he sort of grabbed this thing by the throat a little bit and said, this is the way we're going to play. And he's just rolling it out there the way he wants to roll it out there, right? No, I'm not sure. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, Struds, but something is different in these last couple of games. And it feels like this would be more Knobloch's default mode himself.
But this is how they played when they've gone to the final the last 2 years. Right? This is the first time in, I would say, all year, I've seen back-to-back games the team play the way I expect them to play. I don't know. You're right. I don't know if it's the coach or the players. I'd be floored if the coach hasn't been trying to get them to play this way all year. So I think it maybe came from the players. Hey, boys, we got to get this going. This is how we're going to play. Time to do it. It's offensive game management, taking what's given you. If the play's not there, don't try to create something out of nothing. You don't need to do that. It's not there. But when there's an opportunity, by all means, go for it. Go forward, get up there, take your chances. Especially I thought as the game went on, I thought the Oilers spent more and more time in the offensive zone, especially in the third. I'd be interested to know what the third offensive zone time would be, because I felt they were in there a lot. But it's and what it is, Shocker, it's repeatable. This isn't someone going supernova. Yeah, Connor had 3 points tonight. Okay, great. But he didn't have to be all world tonight. He made a nice play. Savoy scored. Yeah, he won the faceoff, but Bouchard scored the goal. So I don't want to dismiss his contribution, but he didn't have to beat everyone to be all world tonight to win this game. So it's repeatable gameplay by the Oilers.
Totally agree. That was our core adjustments. Let's dig into our storylines, brought to you by Play Alberta. If you want access to odds boosts on every Oiler game all season long, Play Alberta has got you covered. From major winners every hour to hundreds of popular games and jackpots worth millions to money that stays in the province. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Download the all-in-one Play Alberta app today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. And remember, as always, if you're going to play, use your game sense. So we didn't hit tonight. Zuby had a Jack Roslovic anytime goal, Struds. He had such a great opportunity early in the game, missed a bit of an open net there. But, pushing past that. So Roslovic, big game the other night. And that line in particular, Struds, I like the look of it. I like the way they're being used. There's something there that I wonder if it's sustainable even when Leon Draisaitl gets back.
Oh, I think so. I think it is. The problem is, what does everybody else? Where does Leon fall in? I think it's, is it Leon with Kapanen?
You could be,
Leon
Kapanen,
because you got to leave Nuge, or you got to leave, because it's 97 with 22 and Podkolzin, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you got to throw Podkolzin.
No. Yeah, 97 with Savoy and Podkolzin, and then you've got Roslovic with Nuge and Hyman.
Yeah.
Then you got Dickinson with Kapanen and Szymanski. Like, when Draisaitl comes back, the obvious thing is, like, Nuge goes back up with McDavid and Draisaitl slots in on the second line center, and you've got Hyman. Like that would seem obvious. But if this stuff continues to work, you might have some flexibility there. I mean, clearly you got to prioritize a line for Leon, but
yeah. Well, I think you got to, Podkolzin's back with Leon. I think you got to find a way to make that happen, right?
Yep.
But then you got to find someone that can grind beside him. And there's no Trent Fredericks. I mean, he'll be back at some point. Well, you know what?
Podkolzin and Leon and Kapanen. Podkolzin, Leon and Kapanen lets you keep McDavid and Savoy together. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Nuge. But you know what? They've got to get there. They got to get back to where Leon's back and feeling good about himself. And you know, it's in some ways it's trending a little bit like last year with some of the injuries they had, and people got different opportunities, or I should say more opportunity, because of what has happened. Their game felt pretty good as they headed into the playoffs. But they do need some of those bodies back to be healthy.
For sure. Okay. Did you get the stats I sent over, Strud? So we crunch some numbers here real quick. Buddy. You got a few in mind? All right. It's brought to you by McDonald's. NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's. Start your collection and get one of 7 mini Star Sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal, featuring hot shots like McDavid, Matthews, Hughes, Makar, Celebrity, Reinhardt, Montembeault. Shoot for the whole set while they last for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. What numbers, courtesy our friends at Sport Logic, stood out to you, Struds?
Kind of the way I expected. You know, I'm actually looking forward to, well, not actually, I do look forward to every night to seeing what I saw and think I saw to what actually happened. So let's take a look at a couple of the details here. High danger scoring chances. This is one we check every day. 10 for the Oilers, 11 for Vegas. I thought it was pretty even, but there weren't a ton of chances. Again, I think you got to keep it as close to single digits as possible. Gives yourself a chance to win. Scoring chances off the cycle. Both teams 7-7. Again, that's pretty good. That tells me how they're doing in their own zone. You know, they're kind of clogging the middle, making it difficult. Scoring chances off the rush. 6 for Edmonton, 8 for Vegas. Mm-hmm. Okay, pretty good. Again, single digits. Yep. You're not going to limit to 0. Then this one's really interesting. Turnover scoring chances. 13 for Edmonton, only 6 for Vegas. Now, that's a pretty good outcome for the Oilers. Like I know that's something they've been talking about for quite a while, trying to clean up that off the rush, and to limit a team to 6, pretty good. So a lot of good things happening for the Oilers tonight, looking at these numbers.
Got to carry that into Anaheim. Like, my goodness, Struds, another opportunity to put 3 straight wins together. And, you know, this team has just struggled so much to get this done this year. And now so much on the line in the standings. They've got control of their game for the last 2 games. They've found a formula that they can put in their hip pocket. I love that you call it repeatable. That's so relevant, that feels repeatable. So now you've got this game against Anaheim, that clutch win for them tonight, pick up a couple of points. And now it's about trying to do that again and get that 3rd consecutive win. Let's get to the digital sound box, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. They're now offering no interest for 24 months to make your purchase easier. Visit WJJingle.com for exclusive specials just for got your back jingle lovers. Let's hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family owned. Count on experience.
All right, this is courtesy of our good friends over at Oilers Plus. Connor Ingram.
I thought it was a good hockey game. That's when the people got their money's worth for right there. It's back and forth. I mean, both teams had chances. I thought it was just a really good hockey game.
That penalty kill in overtime, of course, you make a couple big saves. Those guys are out there for a long time. What can you say about that?
I mean, that's just 3 guys getting it done. That's just nose down, go to work, and you know, we got it done. Those guys are out there for 2 full minutes, and you know, you can't even really tell. So that's an incredible effort from them, and I mean, that's something you can't coach, can't teach. That's just 3 vets that know how to go to work and get the job done.
How much is this an example of, you know, what this team is capable of, especially heading down the stretch here?
I think the last 2 games have been both really good. You know, we found a way to play that's giving us success, and now it's just not being stubborn and sticking with it. It's playing simple, you know, and we're a good enough hockey club where we're going to get our chances. So as long as we don't give them any, we're going to be just fine.
All right, there it is, Connor Ingram. He's a great interview, Struds. He's been an absolute pleasure for us media as an addition, because he really just says what he thinks.
It was a good game, though. He's right. You know, I don't think there's quite as many chances as he thinks there was, but maybe, you know, he made some big saves in there. But I thought it was a great game. Like, I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. This year, you know, there've been some third periods where I'm having a hard time staying awake. I was engaged and ready for this one. Really enjoyed these last 2 games by the Oilers.
And we appreciate Paige Martin from Oilers TV doing such a great job with the questions. Here's Chris Knobloch.
Yeah, that was a long one. We couldn't get it changed. In overtime, you have the long change, and unless that puck goes all the way down, you can't get off. And those 3, Murph and Nursey and Nuge, I thought they did a pretty good job. Of, we gave up a couple shots, but they were on the perimeter. So for 5-on-3, I don't think they could have killed that any better.
You often need your goaltender to also be your best penalty killer. What did you think of Connor Ingram, especially during?
Yes, he made some saves on the penalty kill, but I don't think any save was bigger than the one he made with about 4 or 5 minutes left. We had a little breakdown in the defensive zone. There was a guy all alone at the net, and he threw out his blocker to make a big save. And if he doesn't make that, we don't get any points, most likely. So, it's Connor's, another solid game from him tonight.
I'm absolutely 100% without question. I'm going back to Connor Ingram next game, Struds. Can we agree on that? Or you want to see Jari?
No, I think that's him. I think it's him. I mean, the Oilers have an opportunity here with the next 3 games to do something they haven't done all year, which is, win 3 or 4 games, I should say, or 5. It's stacking up, but this game against Anaheim is huge. It's a huge game. Not even for the fact that they're trying to catch Anaheim. It's the fact, in my opinion, they've got to try to just get their game and just start repeating these performances over and over and over again. And there's an opportunity. So, I'd go him being Ingram tomorrow or Saturday. What day it is today? Yep, Saturday.
Yeah, day after tomorrow. I had someone ask me about my hand. I was holding up my phone there. I was attaching a trailer hitch to the truck yesterday, and just my hand sort of slipped loose and got cut on something on the bumper of the car. So thanks for the concern. I will be okay. Just one of those manly injuries that you get when you're a handy guy like I am, Struds. Have you ever done a trailer hitch? Have you ever pulled a trailer behind your truck? You ever done any of that kind of stuff? I know how to do that.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. What did the doctor say at emergency?
Well played, sir. Okay, let's wrap the segment with our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Even with the snow on the ground, golf season has started at DeBoer's, now booking custom golf club fittings with all manufacturers. Trust in Scotty, TJ, and the team of world-class fitting pros to take your equipment and game to the next level. Schedule your fitting appointment at DeBoersGolf.com. Pray for Ryan, says Freezer Bag. Thanks, Freezer Bag.
We'll get that hashtag going over on Twitter.
Pray for Ryan.
Okay, so the poll question tonight, where do you think the Oilers will finish in the Pacific Division? And the options we're giving here are first, second, third, or fourth. I didn't put anything any lower than that. I didn't get into wild card scenarios or anything like that. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, just to mix people up, though, I made first the third choice. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. First, second, third, or fourth. And there's an early clubhouse leader here. I'd be curious to see how much it's going to change throughout the show.
Yeah. All right. Make sure you have a chance to vote on that poll. We'll get the results coming up a little bit later before Ask Us Anything. Also a reminder, send your questions in to Struds, myself, and we'll see. Brownie might even be around for that segment, and we'll get to that coming up a little bit later on in the show. Time for our first break. When we come back, we'll keep breaking this thing down. Rob Brown is going to join us here in a little bit for Brownie Points and Struddy's World and Ask Us Anything as well. So lots ahead here on the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
At Modern Measure, every item of clothing starts from scratch and is designed from the ground up based on both your style preferences and current fashion trends. Their clothing is fully designed to give you the exact look you're looking for, down to the smallest details and customization. The Modern team will work with you to make sure that you not only look and feel great, but make the most of your investment. On the ground floor of Edmonton Tower downtown, Modern Measure.
We're back.
We got a new breakdown here, Zuby?
What's that, pal?
Is this a new breakdown, new song?
Yeah, I found it. I was actually going through some of the, setting up my travel kit. I was adding some of the songs. I have to do it in a slightly different way. It's too technical to get into, but I found a couple of other. I'm like, why are these on the cutting room floor? This deserves to be in the show too.
I like it. Almost like Cheers theme. Heavy piano action. I like it. Time now for takeaways, brought to you by Chandos Construction. Chandos has been building for over 45 years, focusing on steady work, strong crews, and careers that last. And because they're 100% employee-owned, the people behind the projects share in the success. If you want to learn more, head to chandos.com/apply. Struds, the game had just a wee little bit of snarl in it. And Connor Murphy obliged a fourth liner that wanted to get into it. Kind of an interesting fight. A veteran fight there from Murphy, just kind of staying close and taking care of it. But overall, the theme tonight for the Oilers, I thought, was, kind of answering the bell physically.
And giving and taking. Like they were, and that's a good game. Like you don't have to just dominate it physically. It's pretty hard to do that. But they were giving and taking. And you're right. Like the moment that Murphy it was a give and take hit there with him and Smith. And you could, he wasn't really want to stand back and chuck. And I get it. You don't need to. It's just showing up and not letting someone push you around. Then later in the period, Dickinson, I thought it was a high hit from Lauzon. I thought it was something to the head there. He didn't see it. And I love that, Dickinson just jumped right up and kind of pushed Szymanski away. But I love that Szymanski went in there. That's a rookie that went in there to say, hey, man, that's not okay. And Szymanski was grabbed by Dickinson and kind of pushed him out. Then at the end of the period, Dickinson goes in there and just runs Theodore. I love that. I think that is just beautiful. Like, yeah, you got me over here. I'm going to get your good player over here. And then all hell broke loose. And that's great. Like, that's a great sequence. So, and what's crazy is there's only 4 penalties in that whole thing. And, it was pretty crazy. But I thought the ref, he handled it well. And I think at the end of the period, maybe it changes a bit because everyone can calm down a bit. But love that sequence from Dickinson. Got hit hard, jumped back up. A couple seconds later, runs the best player on the ice for them. And, hey, let's go.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because he didn't go back at Lauzon, who was also right there. Like, he could have taken a run at Lauzon, but he didn't. He stepped to the left and instead went after the other guy, which I know. I like that, too. It was an aggressive play. I definitely think that was a high hit. That was a chicken wing, and I thought I got him primarily. Like, first point of contact, I thought was in the head.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree. If that had been called a headshot, I would have been, yes, it is. Yeah. Surprised it wasn't because it was pretty clear, right? I thought it was pretty clear, and I was worried for Dickinson, but jumped up right away. So good for him. But I think missed opportunity for the refs there to put the cuffs on him there.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be like Donnybrook after Donnybrook, right? Like even just the fact that guys are showing up, kind of understanding and showing up. Darnell Nurse came in with a bit of a score to settle. He was aggressive in those scrums. He was yappy. He was engaged. I just think when you add another player like Murphy who can handle even a little bit of that business, when Dickinson's not afraid to be mixing it up a little bit out there, right? He can handle himself. Just the collective snarl level of the group feels better right now. And Trent Frederick's not in the lineup right now too, right? So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, Dickinson brings something that Henrique doesn't, which is a little bit more size and that ability to flex his muscle a little bit. Same with Murphy, right? Trent Frederick's in there. Curtis Lazar's another player who's not afraid to get in there. So they're starting to get edge to their game more consistently here through different parts of their lineup.
You're muted there, Shugger.
Oh, sorry about that. We got lots more Oiler talk coming up, but we're going to save that for when Rob Brown has a chance to join us. So for now, Struds, let's take a look and see what else was going on out there and take a couple of laps around the National Hockey League. And taking a lap is brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, your multi-brand motorsports dealer serving Edmonton for over 55 years, offering a wide selection of new and pre-owned motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, snow bikes, e-bikes, and snowmobiles from industry-leading brands. Check them out online, www.riversidemotorsports.com. What do you want to hit on tonight, buddy?
Well, Tommy Shabbat is out for 4 to 8 weeks. He got surgery, and obviously he's a pretty big part of the Sens. The Sens definitely need him to be playing, but that is a long time. He'll be out till at least the first round gets going, and at worst a lot deeper. So tough spot for them with him out.
And lots of injuries on the blue line. Jake Sanderson, I mean, this guy, this is just an incredible opportunity for him as he gets healthy to step up and step in. And he's such a good player, Strud. So they'll lean on him even more. He's back. I think he's back now, isn't he? Or is he close to being back? Sanderson?
I don't know if he. I don't think he was going to play tonight.
I'll double check it. I'll double check it. You can jump into our next point, and I'll see where Sanderson is at.
Sidney Crosby out tonight in the same game with the Sens. It was kind of like a high hit. Tried to finish up, and he's out. So that's now the second time Sid's been hurt this year. I didn't see an update post game. Now it might be out already. I'm sorry if I missed it, but I didn't see it. So Sid Crosby out, and then Detroit. Yeah, Bernard Docker signed an extension, 2-year extension. Youngish D-Ben Schauger signs an extension with his club. And I think, he was a guy that was pretty highly spoken of with Ottawa. I don't know if it ever really fit properly, but the Red Wings like him. They sign him, and again, not a big deal. Not that it's not a lot of money, but $1.6 million, you can live with that for the next couple of years for a right shot D-man.
There you go. Just backtracking there. No Sanderson tonight. In the lineup for the Ottawa Senators.
I thought it would be the end of the weekend or early next week he'd be back. That's what I thought I saw. I might be wrong, but I thought I saw that.
They're in a fight. They need healthy bodies, man. They need healthy bodies, but they're still scrappy even despite all the injuries that they've had. I thought I saw an interesting headline today. I can't remember if it was at The Athletic, but it was saying that of all the seats, like general manager seats around the league, that Steve Yzerman's has to be as hot as anybody else's, Struds. And, it was an interesting headline, interesting thought. He's pretty well dug in there. He's been there for a long time. But time for them to turn a corner, man. They have to make the playoffs and start showing some signs of life, don't they?
I love Steve Yzerman. I love him. I loved him before I went to the NHL. I loved him when I was in the NHL. Really? And I'm going to say that it's got to be hot underneath that seat for him, like really hot. And this hurts me to say it. Like, I love this man. I played against him. I had so much respect for him. And, how he started out with Tampa and did all those things there. But this is a long time. If his name was Ted Smith, I don't think he'd still be there right now, right? Let's just be honest, because I believe it's 7 years. Am I wrong? I think it's 7 years he's been there. If I might around there. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
And so it's not good enough, right? And they are fading like a flower right now. They are 3-5-2 in their last 10, losers of 2 games. There's no momentum for them right now, and that's going to be pretty tough trying to get out. And then you got, the Islanders and the Bruins in the playoffs. So, yeah, tough one.
2019, April 19th, 2019 looks like is when he was appointed there.
So 6-7 years, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Got some good players. Like, they got some good core pieces in place, but you got to get in. You got to start showing some results sooner rather than later, for sure, for you to be able to take those next steps. All right. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports. All right, Zuby, let's get into our scoreboard here and see what else happened around the National Hockey League. Brought to you by The Bridge Fit. Being an Oiler fan can take its toll. The stress, the highs, the heartbreaks, your body will feel all of it. bringing one team of physio, chiro, massage therapists, and strength coaches all together in one great spot, helping you build strength and resilience for long-term movement. 5 locations across Alberta. Visit thebridge.fit to book your session.
Tons of games tonight, 13, and so many had implications. I'm just going to tell you the scores and a quick comment. Canadians win 2-1 over the Blue Jackets. This is big for both teams. The Penguins beat the Senators 4-3 in a shootout. That's huge for both teams. Kraken beat the Lightning 4-3 in OT. That's huge for the Kraken. The Lightning, I think they're okay where they're at. Wild beat, no one cares about that. The Islanders beat the Stars 2-1. Huge for the Islanders, and does have significant impact for the Stars. Flyers, Blackhawk, no one cares. Blues beat the Sharks in OT. I don't think anyone really cares. I think the Sharks are done. Devils beat the Predators. Predators only get 18 shots. That's huge for the Predators, for the Devils. They're getting close to golfing season. And then the Ducks beat the Flames 3-2. Man, the Flames could have done the Oilers a solid with that one. They don't quite get it done. Then the Kings beat the Canucks 4-0. That's a huge one for the Kings. So the Oilers don't really make any ground up tonight or pull away other than just on Vegas, really, with 1 point difference.
All right. That was our scoreboard, brought to you by The Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. When we come back, the man, Rob Brown, will join us. Brownie Points is on deck, and we've got Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything as well. So plenty ahead here on Got Your Back. Fire us a thumbs up in the break if you don't mind. Like and subscribe. If you're online with us tonight and not subscribed, please do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to download us in podcast form as well. We appreciate that. We'll be right back here on Got Your Back.
Why would you? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? A maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
It is time for Brownie Points, brought to you by your Alberta Ram dealers.
Give me those brownie points.
Yes, the 4x4 winter event continues at your Alberta Ram dealer. Get a 2026 Ram 1500 Black Express starting from $56,995. Check it out at your Ram dealer today. Great vehicle inside and out. Go see one. Take it for a little test drive action. Welcome to the program, Sir Rob Brown. Please dole out some points.
Well, I'm going to start the program by taking away 4 brownie points from Vegas Golden Knights goaltender Adin Hill, who got beat 4 times tonight in the exact same spot. I've been watching a lot of Golden Knights highlights as of late, and Hill has been getting continually beat to his blocker side. And if I notice that watching the occasional highlight, I am sure that they talked about it in the Oilers dressing room, as all 4 goals were scored in the same spot. So that's something to keep an eye on. If the Oilers and Vegas play each other in the playoffs, that is a weakness for Adin Hill right now. I got 2 huge brownie points to the Oilers, Nugent Hopkins, Nurse, and Murphy, who killed off a full 2-minute overtime power play and allowed the Oilers to steal the extra point in Vegas. Toughest power play, in my opinion, to kill off is a 4-3. That was my favorite, to be honest, as an offensive player. And the Oilers penalty killers got it done with good sticks and being in the proper shooting lanes. I don't believe Vegas had one good look on that 4-on-3 power play. And give the credit to the Oilers penalty killers. They got a 2-on-1, well shorthanded, and almost scored to win the game as well. I got 58 brownie points to the Oilers' Connor McDavid, who without Leon being in the lineup tonight, in the last few games has been taking more and more of the important face-offs. And tonight, on his weak side, he won the huge face-off in overtime back to Evan Bouchard. That is not an easy face-off to win. That was a set play on a tough draw. He made it look easy, and that's what 97 does. He makes the hard plays look relatively easy. I got 15 brownie points to the Oilers' Connor Ingram, who gave the Oilers another quality start. I believe that's the third straight game that he has beat the Golden Knights this year. Bodes well if you play that team in the playoffs. You're in the win with a couple big saves in overtime. But his biggest save of the night came late in the third period off the stick of number 15, Noah Hannafin. Bouchard and the Oilers penalty killing unit don't get to play heroes without the late game save by Ingram on a wide open Noah Hannafin. And finally, I got 20 brownie points to Evan Bouchard, who continues to add to his Norris Trophy resume with his 20th goal of the season. Bouchard might have warts in his game at times, but he leads the National Hockey League in defense scoring, and tonight he scores another big overtime game winner. He may or may not win the Norris Trophy this year, but he is certainly in the conversation. And again, he shows why he is the most important defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers. And those, my friends, are tonight's brownie points.
Nailed it there, Brownie. Why did you prefer 4-on-3 as opposed to 5-on-4 in the power play?
More room as the offensive player. I think when there's 5-on-3, it just gets clogged up. And when you watch Connor and Leon out there moving around, it's just so much room. And if you can somehow pull a defender up, then you got the cross ice pass. So as an offensive player, I like 4-on-3 better than 5-on-3. And I don't know if you guys probably heard it, but Connor Ingram talked after the game and gave kudos to the 3 penalty kills. But he talked about the fact that they weren't tired afterwards. They played the whole 2 minutes. That's because they stayed in their structure. They did not move out of it. And if you don't move away from your structure, there's no seam passes open. So good on them.
So you like it? Sorry, Shaka. So you like 4-on-3 better than 5-on-3, but did you like 4-on-3 better than you like 5-on-4 or 5-on-4 or 4-on-3? Which
4-on-3
do you like?
4-on-3 is my favorite because there's the most
more
room.
than 5-on-4.
Way better than 5. I hate it. 5-on-4, it's clogged. There's a lot of people on the ice. 4-on-3, there's just so much room out there. And sometimes on a 5-on-3, there's just having too many options confuses players, and someone gets in the way. 4-on-3, it's simple. And to me, the Vegas Golden Knights, you've won 4 games out of 16. You're falling in the standings. You have a 2-minute power play in overtime, and you have 4 Olympians on the ice. That is a huge fail for Vegas tonight. And it's funny, the Oilers if the Oilers win the division, they still might play Vegas in the first round. Vegas might be a wild card team before this is dead all over. Kings are now only 2 points behind them. 2 points behind them in the standings. So, or 4 points behind with a game in hand. That's what it is. So it's getting tight.
So, Brownie, there were lots of Oilers tonight that had, notable, good, solid performances. And we asked the people on the live stream to send some names in. We got a whole pile of them. What else stood out to you tonight in terms of performances from guys that you thought, you like the look of?
I don't know if there's a player that you can say didn't have a good game. And I think what you're seeing now is players playing to what they're supposed to play at. We've had times this year where players didn't seem like they know what their role was. We now know Max Jones knows what his role is. He goes out there, he's physical. I thought Szymanski was very good. Dickinson, that should have been a hit to the head at the end of the first period, and he got angry and he went and ran Theodore after the whistle was gone. Things like that are noticeable, and that's good. Their offensive players are playing offensive. Defensively, they're making the right reads. They're coming back. There's an urgency defensively that they haven't had all season long. So I honestly, I don't think you can tell me any player and I can tell you something good that he did tonight. To me, there was only one big mistake in this game, and that was Ekholm pinching with a 1-goal lead in the third period. You don't do that. But other than that, I don't remember a big mistake made in this hockey game. It was 2 teams that played very, very well, and the Edmonton Oilers I thought were slightly better, and that's why they got the win.
Yeah.
Love that point about Ekholm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do that, not with a 1-goal lead.
No.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember.
He's halfway in between. He's not there.
You gotta
he's
back
like,
off.
do I go or not go? If you're wondering, it's too late.
Yeah.
As soon as you wonder, it's too late. You've got to go. I'm going or I'm not. And he was like, okay, I'll go. And then you could tell right away he turned and he was trying to get back as fast as he could. So, but he knows. I mean, this is, you don't have to beat him up over it, but that's just
no. You're down a goal in the game, maybe.
Yeah.
You're up a goal in the game, no.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. Yeah.
I thought 97 got stripped there on the one as well, right? I think.
By Stone.
Stone stripped him there.
He's the best guy with a stick in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Mark Stone.
That was a great strip.
Nobody steals pucks like him. It is unbelievable. And to me, he was by far their best player, and he got the 2 goals. But he had passion in his game. Eichel, to me, the last 2 times these 2 teams played, looked disinterested. And when the Oilers and Vegas played and Vegas won the Stanley Cup, I found a new appreciation for Jack Eichel. I was never a fan, and then he was dominant in that series. But the last, I wonder at the end of the season if this is the end of the coaching of Bruce Cassidy in Vegas, because this team should be better than they are. And Jack Eichel, who's their star, looks disinterested. And when that happens, usually if the star is disinterested, the coach doesn't last long.
Yeah, that's no good. What are you seeing with McDavid here the last couple of games, Brownie? Like Struds and I were kind of, I don't know. It feels like he's bought into the program and is sort of carving out some of the extra long shifts, extra risky stuff. Like the whole team seems to have bought in, but it's noticeable with McDavid the last couple of games.
Well, it has to be. Struds and I have been on teams where, hard to believe, we weren't the star players. So you watch how your star players react, what they do. And it's hard to, when the coach says, you've got to do this. And I'm like, well, he's not. I mean, that's our leader. And if he's not doing it, why should I? So when your leader does everything, now it's really hard to not do it. When he leads in physicality, when he leads at dumping the puck in, coming off the ice at the proper times, being good on the back check. To me, though, this is Connor McDavid, and Struds brought it up a lot last year during the season. You cannot play playoff hockey all season long, but the Oilers veteran players know when to turn it on. And you're starting to see that now. Hyman leading with physicality in Utah. Connor now playing a little more structured defensively. When the Oilers in the playoffs, they are a very good defensive team in the playoffs. And you're starting to see them. No team can really just flick a switch, but they have a dimmer, and they're turning the dimmer now to get back into playoff hockey. And it starts with their star player, and I think Connor's playing that way now.
Yeah, I used the phrase earlier, Brownie. I think this is 2 repeatable performances. This wasn't Connor or Leon or the goalie having supernova, although they're good, like they're a part of it. But it's everyone contributing. And tonight was the most enjoyable performance I've seen the Oilers play all year. I love this game tonight, and I enjoyed it. Watching it, it was a really good game, and they have momentum now coming home for, I think, what are 3 important games against the team they're fighting with for first, and then team they want to keep pushing down, then the Blackhawks.
Well, this was a playoff hockey game. It looked like a playoff hockey game. If Edmonton and Vegas play in the playoffs, it's going to look identical to what we saw tonight. And to me, the game on Saturday is going to be a test for the Oilers, because Vegas will play like we saw tonight. They will play a defensive structured game as well. They don't give up a whole lot of chances. Anaheim does. Anaheim freewheels. As good a coach as Quenneville is, sometimes I watch Anaheim play, I'm like, okay, what are they doing? So can the Oilers stay structured when they play a team that they'll trade chances with you? Because Anaheim is really good offensively. So I think it'll be a big test for the Oilers structure on Saturday.
I heard a comment from Chris Knobloch before tonight's game, and he was talking about what had gone well last game and what he was hoping for tonight. And I found it interesting, because when you think about the 2 losses, the Florida and Tampa, and when the Oiler game gets off the wheels, off the tracks a little bit, some of the stuff that we see, I just thought it was interesting listening to Knobloch talking about it today. In the end, he got a very similar performance from his team tonight, but just listen to where he feels the strength of their game is lying right now.
But the more predictable you are, the simpler you are, the more likely you're going to have the same outcome. And I think a lot of things that we did the other night in Utah wasn't fancy, wasn't sexy. It was just simple hockey. All the players were engaged. They worked hard. Their shifts were short, limited their mistakes. And we got to play that brand of hockey.
There you go. So asking for some simplicity, Brownie, and we saw that in particular early in the last two games.
Well, again, this is playoff style hockey. Playoff hockey is simple. It's getting pucks in, getting pucks out. It's because it's more important. Those games are more important. So now the importance of getting the puck the extra 2 feet over the blue line, making sure you get the red line and getting it in, dumping it in properly. A lot of times in a game, you just, all right, I'm dumping it in and changing, but dump it in with a purpose, cross corner, keeping it away from the goaltender, all little details. So the word is always used simple, but I think the real word Struds is detailed. And it's good line changes. It's getting the puck over the blue line. No odd man break. All right, I'm going to dump it behind the goaltender. Just small details that I think the Oilers are getting better at. It's a veteran team. They've got a couple younger players like a Savoy, but this is a veteran team that's been there, and I think they're starting to realize now, okay, this is the time of year that we become a little more detailed. Over the course of a full season, you can't be detailed the entire year. You just can't. Mentally, you get exhausted. But Struds, right now, you're starting to see a very detailed Edmonton Oilers team, and that's why you're seeing a little more success.
Well, they know how to do it. They know how to, because they've done it. They've done it, and they just have to keep doing it. And the guys they've added, I think, understand it as well. These are veteran guys, and Dickinson, and of course Murphy, and then they're going to get a guy. I think Curtis Lazar. I think when he comes back, I think Trent Frederick understands it, pretty well. So, Cole and Doc, you're not asking him to do this kind of stuff, but he's not going to have a big impact on the game, I'm guessing, when you get to the playoffs.
Is Szymanski making a case for himself to, be in this lineup and to push some of the guys that were more regulars during the regular season? Lazar, I think, there's real value. He plays the center position and that matters. But I don't know. I just really like his game. And I think he is kind of an example of what the Oilers are trying to do right now, Brownie, which is to keep it simple and to be defensively conscious. And I like his game.
I agree. He's smart. If you look back, I don't know how many games Szymanski's played now, close to a dozen, 10, whatever it is. Tell me a mistake he made. Tell me one big mistake he's made in a game. I don't remember one. He simplifies his game. I feel like I'm picking on him, but is Frederick a better player than Szymanski? Does he give you more?
Yeah.
I don't know if he does. So Max Jones. Yeah, Max Jones. I mean, he's been consistent. Now, this is the one thing Struz and I have talked about. He can show you flashes, but can he do it consistently? Well, he has. And he gives you edge if you play against a team. Anaheim's got some bullies on their team. Vegas plays a big man game. It's nice having a Max Jones that's going to go out there and create. So, yeah, I do believe Szymanski. I believe everybody in the lineup right now is pushing for a spot come playoff time because they're playing. They've all accepted what their roles are, and I think they've played them as close to perfection over this last little while.
Yeah, I think Stan Bowman has to find a couple more Szymanskis this summer, right? A forward or a D or something like. They don't have draft picks. If this is what if Szymanski becomes bottom six forward for this Oilers team, that's great. That's a great outcome, man. Because usually those guys, if you're picking later in the draft, it's hard to find the Brownie, and if they are, they're like 5 or 6 years away.
And what you're getting to with a player at this age is you already seen what he's become. It's hard he's guessing what a 17-year-old or just turned 18-year-old, what's he going to be 4 years from now?
Yeah.
What's he going to turn into? So now when you get a free agent, you're like, okay, here's what he's grown into his body. Here's the kind of player he is. Here's what his work ethic is. So it's kind of, now they don't all turn out, but it's easy because here's a year. We're giving you a year to go out and become a player that we could use in our lineup. And I think, as you said, Schauger, it's hard taking him out of the lineup because he's been so consistent in the games that he's played.
All right, that was Brownie Points, brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealer. Time for Struddy's World, Zuby. Roll the intro.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
It is time for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl product, offering premium fence and deck materials designed to stand the test of time. If you're looking for a professional contractor or planning to tackle it yourself, they have the resources and the expertise to help you out. Canadian owned and operated. They've got locations in Calgary and in Edmonton. Visit dlrvinylproducts.ca. Struddy.
Nothing feels better when the team's power play goes out and all the D-men are sitting on the bench. Hey, go and get it. Vegas, you got it. I was looking at the Vegas power play time. They have all the top 5 power play minute guys are forwards. Theodore comes in at six with 85 minutes, and Hannafin's 9th. Just to compare and contrast the Edmonton Oilers, now we know they've kind of got a little bit something. Both Connor and Evan Bouchard have played 263 minutes of power play, so that's, they're tied. And Mitch Marner has 260 minutes for Vegas. So it gives you a sense. Theodore is 85 minutes, and he's sixth going. So what do you think he's doing this year? Theodore last year, 67 games, 57 points. This year, through 61 games, 34 points. I'm telling you, he's loving it. Now, he had a really slow start. He didn't score a goal for a long time this year, but it's messed up. It is messed up when you do it. And I know they did it in Toronto, but Shea Theodore is a pretty good D-man. He's a pretty good offensive D-man. And yes, the power play is running at a pretty high level. So I guess, does it trump it? I don't know. I'd like my top defenseman also happy playing minutes back there. So something's got to be figured out, because I don't think it's working. If you lose your best defenseman for a power play, I'm not sure that's a worthwhile trade, boys.
I'm not sure about that. If you're having success is what you're looking for. I think Shea Theodore is a fantastic defenseman. I do believe on their 4-on-3, what they lost was a shot from the point. They didn't have no big shot. I mean, the one thing, Marner, he can pass, but he's not a shooter. So in that 4-on-3 power play they had, every time it came back to Marner, you didn't see Nugent Hopkins coming out there. He knew he wasn't shooting. He's not going to take a bomb. I'm fine sitting back here. But there's no one else on that back end that is going to play on your power play. Their power play has been successful. Yeah, I got no problem with 5 forwards as long as they don't get scored on. And I don't know what their stats are for giving up shorthanded goals. I got no problem at all with them running 5 forwards if they're getting it done. So I got to disagree with you a little bit on that, Struds.
So an Olympic level defenseman drops 20 points or more off his goal point total.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay to sacrifice to increase your power play by just a point or two compared to last year.
Yeah. I mean, if your power play is better with him on the bench, yeah.
Whoa. That's a lot to take in.
It's not all about points on the back end. I mean, he's a little fresher to play 5-on-5. So yeah, I've got no problem going 5 forwards. If that's the best chance of them scoring goals, yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think I'm going to weigh in with Struds here. I think the other thing, too, about having 5 guys out there all the time, like other teams quite often have some pretty good players killing penalties. And if you're the Oilers, you throw a skilled player out there. Now you got these guys trying to defend if you can get them into backtracking a little bit. So a little bit risky there, maybe. Struds as well, not having a D-man back.
On that before you say that, though. You need the stats. How many shorthanded goals have they given up? Mitch Marner is an incredibly good defensive player. When he was in Toronto, they did not give up many. He plays defense very well. So I've got, again, if they give up lots and lots of goals against, then I would question it. I don't know what their record is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find that right now, how many shorthanded goals they've given up this season against. So
yeah, I guess, guys, I would say, to me, it doesn't even matter about how many you're giving. I mean, if they give up 10 shorthanded goals against, it hurts, but you're losing your top defenseman. and him getting going and getting points and making things happen. And I know he had a tough start this year. I get it. But I don't know if that's worth the trade-off. I don't know if I like the way that goes. I'm like, he's sitting on the bench like, let me get my beak wet out there. You're telling me I'm not better than one of those 5 guys out there as your number one D?
He's
Because
not better
he's
than
not their
Marner.
number one D.
He's
No,
the
not
number
better
one. He's
than
not better
Marner. I
than
get it.
Marner.
You can't find a
Marner's
space
the guy
for
that
Marner.
runs the
Like,
power play, though.
right. But, Theodore is a pretty good PP guy as well.
Yeah.
Right? The
He's all
PP
right.
was okay last year. It was fine.
I don't know what their stats were last year, but Marner's better at the top. So I have no problem. If that's what they feel gives them their best chance of winning games, I'm fine with it. I mean, the Oilers run one power play. I mean, if the Oilers had a second unit, maybe the second unit, like they would get some offensive confidence, but the Oilers don't do that.
So actually, I just looked it up. The power play has dropped 4 percentage points from last year to this year.
No,
Mitch Marner's the only
they're
difference.
your thing. See, if their power play is better, whatever they feel their power play is better at, if it's better with Theodore, then you go with Theodore. But I got no problem with. I'd say, but my point is, whatever gives you the best chance of scoring, I'm good with that. If their backup goalie at the top gives them a better chance of scoring, I'm good with putting him out there too.
But at the risk of losing your top D-man and his production and his vibe, that's a dangerous game. I think it's. I don't know.
Well, I don't think this coach is long for that team. I just don't. I think he's got a shelf life.
Yeah,
I think he's got a shelf life, and it shows with the way their players look. This is not as enthused a team, and I think he's hard on his players. And I just think that, I mean, what's happening with Theodore, what's happening with Eichel, I don't believe if this team does not get past the first round, I don't think he'll be coaching there next year.
It looks like, if I got the right column, 5 versus 4, they've only given up 4 shorties against, which is the better half of the league, Brownie. So fair point by you on that.
That doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter.
Okay, that was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Final Products.
That was better though. The last 2 Struddy Worlds, I think I listened to you do. You talked about your peeing. So I mean, this was I do appreciate. I disagreed with you, but I do appreciate this one.
Makes sense. I get it.
Shocking that Brownie would come out on the side of putting more forwards on the ice at the expense of defensemen.
It's so biased.
The stream is stunned. People are just stunned. Zuby, we got another break yet, or what's? I can't remember.
Yeah, we got one more.
Where we're at. One more. Okay, one more quick break. We're gonna keep Brownie for Ask Us Anything because that's about all we got left. So get your questions into Struds and to Brownie. I'll lay low next segment. Let the stars of the show rock and roll. We're back with that right after the break.
Getting the McDonald's you love for just $5 plus tax every day? That's not just value. That's McValue. Get $5 McValue meals every day.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Bring a bottle.
I'm gonna wear a diaper.
Time now for Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria, powered by Dominion Lending Centers, Maximal Mortgages. With the Bank of Canada lowering rates, it's a great time to look at your mortgage. The thing is, your bank only shows you their offer, but Maria brings you options from a whole lineup of lenders, so you get the deal that works best for you. Don't just roll over for the bank. Connect with her today at mortgagesbymaria.ca. Zuby, you want to hop in and wrap up our De Boer's Golf Shop and Pitting Center YouTube poll, pal?
Yes, let's. People stayed really. This is one of the most consistent poll voting. It wavered very little, so you got a real, true, I think, reflection of the stream here tonight. Oh, hang on, I'm going to change that. It's Miss Maria. I didn't have this shot set. Here we go. The poll question tonight: was where do you think the Oilers will finish in the Pacific Division? Second place, the number one answer, 74%. First place, 22% came in second. Third place, 4%. And fourth place, 0. I don't know if we've ever had an outright 0% of any poll option on the show tonight. So no one thinks they're dropping as far as fourth, but really consistent numbers on that. And a big stream. Man, I want to use that. Tell a friend, tell your friends, we want to use this one. I haven't got to use the 1,000 sound effect yet this year. And we're nudging close to it. It's a big moment when we get 1,000 viewers on the stream. So
it is
over
Normally
400
it's playoff
votes on
time.
the poll.
Normally it's playoff time. So regular season 1K sound would be unreal. So please drag some friends to the stream. Maybe after that. Well, Saturday after that Anaheim game, we'll see. I think they got it in them.
Alrighty. All right. Where are we going to go here first? Discussion of the, still we'll call them the new guys. Where is, TJJ Dennis, very positive here on this thought. He says Dickinson and Murphy have been the glue this team was missing. They're fighting for each other, dragging one another into the fight. The swagger and edge is palpable. Cup year, baby. TJJ Dennis going all in, on having these guys here. Ace, a little more reserved. He says, as for those new guys, I want to see what they do in the playoffs versus top teams before I get too high on any of them. Noel Rinsky in the bigger picture says, masterclass trade deadline for Stan Bowman, as it relates to those two fellas. So Struddy, where you can take that anywhere you want. How big of a deal is it? And how much of those two guys in particular improve this team?
Yeah, I think the glue's all right. I love the idea that they plug holes, right? They plugged holes that the Oilers didn't have. They needed someone to play beside Nurse, and then they needed a big kind of defensive center that had some experience, and they both have edge. And I think Cole and Doc too. I'm interested to see what this guy can do long term, not the rest of this year. But they look a lot bigger, these guys, in the lineup, and they bring edge. But they plugged holes they didn't have there, guys.
Yeah, they're just subtle moves that they needed. They didn't need a superstar. They got a couple of those, but they needed some guys that played good defensive hockey, and they got them.
This was I'm going to go here. Noel Rinsky says, do you guys have any comment on the knob-block noise kind of dying down and the players sort of starting to execute a little bit more in that time? Of course, they had two pretty good games before the two tougher outings against the Florida teams, but do you think these things are connected in any way, Brownie?
I didn't understand the knob-block noise. He just signed a brand new contract. Knob-block was going nowhere. So to me, Struddy, there was no knob-block noise. It was people angry because things weren't going well. But I don't think inside the organization there was any noise about Chris Knoblauch.
Well, they've won 4-6 now, right? So they're heading in the right direction. They have an opportunity the next few games at home to kind of put some more together. So winning quiets down a lot of noise for everybody, coach, players, everyone around. So they've got to keep doing it and finding a way to just kind of create distance from where they were, and then try to somehow reel in the Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, they're a 4-game losing streak away from there being knob-block noise again, though. I mean, that's just the way it is right now, right? If the playoffs are at all in jeopardy in any way, or a super early exit or anything like that, there will be noise.
Schmaps says, I wonder if the dry injury is a blessing in disguise, forces Knoblauch to roll lines, and now you can see everyone is finally feeling involved. Struddy, you're certainly a proponent for guys feeling more involved, having a role. Nobody wants Leon Draisaitl out longer than he needs to be, and certainly not into the playoffs. But do you think there's anything to that?
I do. And I think, Brownie's made the point before, and we saw it tonight, like the fourth line starting offensive zone time. Like it's not just the minutes, it's the opportunities you're getting. And I think that makes a pretty big difference. And when Leon returns and they get everyone kind of back healthy, I think that the Oilers are at their best when they roll 4. So there's got to be some discipline from Knoblauch as well to continue to roll 4, even when things are in the balance, right? You're tied 1-1 going to third. Keep rolling them out there. Keep getting it done. Give everyone a chance, Brownie.
Well, we saw the confidence that a bunch of players gained at the end of last year when, Connor and Leon were out at times. A bunch of players went in who'd gone 10, 12, 15, 20 games without any points or any goals. They're getting touches. Now, I'm not sure I'd ever call an injury to one of your best players a blessing in disguise, and I think it all depends on when Leon comes back to the lineup. You gain all these guys get all this confidence, but if Leon's not starting game 1 or game 2 of the playoffs, I don't care how much confidence they have. This is a different team in the playoffs without Leon in the lineup.
Along the same lines, but just an observation that I kind of agree with. William Pitcher says Oilers are playing more like a team now instead of bursts of mindless individual efforts. I wouldn't go so far as to call them mindless, but it does feel like there's a little bit more cohesion right now. Brownie, would you agree?
Yeah, but I mean, see, this was getting too high after a couple wins and too low after a couple losses. I mean, we are 3 games away from when they played Florida and they wanted to blow everything up and this team can't play. Why didn't they show up? And now they come out and they get a couple wins and now it's cohesive. Yeah, the Oilers are playing good hockey right now. They're playing better defensively. Their leadership, Hyman by his physicality, Connor with playing a much more defensive structured game. They've been quieter in their own zone. There's not a lot of, like both Nurse and Wallman, both have looked a little more consistent. So I'm not going to get too high after 2 games, but Struds, I do believe the last couple games have been nice wins on the road and have gained confidence. But it's got to be, can't be just 2 in a row. It's got to be 3 good games, then 4 good games, then 6 out of 8 good games. Then you'll start to see a little more belief that this is a team that has turned the corner and is playing the way it needs to be.
Yeah, consistency, right? That's what they have to do. We know they can do it, and we've seen them do it for a couple of years, and we've seen them the last 2 games. Do it for the next week, right? Right through these next 3 games. No matter what the outcomes are, if you play like this, and let's say you go 2-1, okay, no problem. It's a consistent brand of hockey they're repeating, and that's what they need.
Okay, a couple fun ones here to wrap it up. Canadian 123 says the Oilers have 9 games left. Bouchard needs 16 points to hit 100. Does he do it, Brownie?
Yeah, I don't know if I bet against that right now. I really don't know if I could. The only thing that will stop him is right now the Oilers power play is not good. They're struggling, and he's doing it 5-on-5. If the Oilers power play finds a way to get on track, then yeah. So I'm going to be positive here. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. He finds a way to get 16 points in the final 9 games. It's not out of question the way that the stats he's put together over the last 30, 40 games.
I think you have to have one big game, hey guys, like a 4-point or something, just to kind of really get it. Because there are going to be some low-scoring games, and they're going to lose some games. So I think they need one big one, and those are harder to come by. I'd love to see him do it. I honestly think he should be a finalist for the Norris Trophy. He and Werenski, then you pick it out after that. I really think he should be. Now, is he going to win? I don't know, but it may be, maybe not. I don't know. But I think he should be a finalist, and I'm pushing that on a lot of the noise that's out there.
I agree that he should be in the final 3. It's going to be tough to beat Werenski because Werenski's going to lead his team in scoring by about 15 to 20 points. Yeah. That's going to be hard to overlook.
Well, the other thing that Werenski has a chance to do and are likely going to do is put up better numbers on a per-game basis than Evan Bouchard. Like Zach Werenski's getting more points per game than Evan Bouchard. He's just played fewer games this year. He's at 1.18. He's scored more goals than Evan Bouchard has scored, and he's played 65 games. Bouchard's played 73. So on a per-game basis, Bouchard is not the top-scoring defenseman in the league. I don't know how he beats Zach Werenski given those, that texture and those numbers, because he's been as good offensively, carrying his team, and I think it's going to be tough. I think Bouchard deserves to be right in there in the top, whatever it ends up being, 3, 4, whatever. But Werenski is going to be a beast to beat this year with these numbers that he's putting up.
I agree.
Is that it, Zuby?
We got one more, but with those numbers, if Columbus gets into the playoffs, where's the Werenski for Hart Trophy talk? If you lead your team in scoring, he's dragging them in.
I think right now Kucherov is the favorite to win the Hart. I do. With the season he's having, with the team in Tampa, the number of injuries they've had, he's plus 45 or something on the season as well. He had 14 points in his first 17 games. And then since then, he's gone McDavid-like. So to me, right now, I think Kucherov is the favorite to win. I guess there's still 10 games left, but he'd be the favorite, and Werenski would be the favorite on the back end.
D-men and goalies aren't allowed to win it. Forwards get upset if they let them win it. So,
all right, here's the last one. Blommer gets the hammer. Best type of wine: red, white, rosé, or other. We had some other write-in votes when Blommer threw this out there for champagne, for sangria. What's your favorite type of wine or wine drink? Struddy, you may go first.
yeah, I love port. I don't know the last time I drank a glass of wine. I love port. I drink it anytime. Love it.
I would say the second bottle is always my favorite. Actually, I go with rosé. Rosé would be my favorite.
Classy gentleman.
I can't answer that question because it's going to make my gout flare. So I'm going to take a pass on answering that one.
Whoever, even just answering the question, whoever threw it out, I'm not a huge wine guy, so I know sangria is not, it's like wine for fun, but I do love sangria. I declared last summer to be the summer of sangria, and I think I might run it back for 2026.
All right. Love it. Lots to choose from out your way in Kelowna. That is Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Maria Gallus Mortgage Broker. All right, let's get to our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and replacement. Their trenchless method is quick, low impact, and often finished in a day, complete with backflow protection. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. What do we got tonight, Struds?
It's always special when a D-man steps up and delivers a win for his team. So Evan Bouchard, game-winning goal in overtime. That's the play of the day. Lock it. Evan Bouchard, well done, sir.
Were you surprised, Brownie, that you had time to get that off? I thought they were going to get sticks in there for sure.
Well, I just think, I don't know if they expected Connor to win at that. That's a tough face-off. Like, really, like you're on your weak side, and to pull it all the way over there to where Bouchard is. And Bouchard was where he was standing, just it made it a tough way to get out there for the winger. Or not, I don't even know if it was the winger or the D-man who was trying to get him. But yeah, it's a big mistake by the Vegas Golden Knights on that, to not get in the shooting lane, because Aiden Hill, he hadn't stopped one on that side the whole night. So it would have made a lot easier if they would have blocked it. But good on him. Bouchard is one of the few players in the NHL that's going to score from that distance, and he's done it consistently this year.
All right, that wraps it up. Our play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer. Well, I'm not going to speak for the Oilers, but we put 3 good shows together in a row here, guys. So let's see if the Oilers, for just the second time this season, can put 3 straight wins together. Playoff implications, huge game. Afternoon game, 1:30 on Saturday. We'll have a post-game show right here after the game. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Have a great night, Brownie. Struds. Thanks, Soobs.
Good night, everybody.
So long.
And thanks to Brownie's gone. And thanks to all of you for joining us here on the live stream. We appreciate you. We will chat Saturday after the game. Big thanks, as always, to our amazing sponsors who make Got Your Back happen. We'll see you.